Right now, somewhere out there, someone is lying awake with your name sitting quietly on their heart. They tried to close their eyes and let it go, but your face keeps coming back like a soft knock on a door that will not stop. If you have felt a strange pull lately, a feeling you cannot explain, then dear one, this message may be for you. Before we go any further, if your heart felt even a small flutter reading that, comment, "I receive this" below right now. Let this be your way of saying, "I am open to receiving this." Just one simple word, and let's begin. Dear one, they have reached a crossroad between fear and fate. Every rule in their mind says turn back, but something deeper in their spirit keeps whispering, go forward, go toward them. This is the moment where love finally chooses the pull of the heart over the noise of the world. This is a story of a heart breaking every old rule just to reach the person it was always meant to find. If your spirit has ever loved against the odds, against logic, against what everyone else expected, you already understand what is about to be shared. When these words feel true in your own life, let yourself notice it. You do not need to say it out loud or prove it to anyone. Simply let the feeling settle quietly inside you, like a gentle agreement between you and your own heart, a soft promise that you are allowed to receive good things. Your words carry weight. When you speak from a place of faith, something in the atmosphere shifts. So take a breath and let yourself believe that good things are already on their way to you. What you are about to hear is not a story of guilt. It is a story of quiet courage. It is the story of a heart finally choosing the harder, truer path, the one that leads straight back to you. They tried to move on. They tried to forget you. They told themselves it was only a feeling, only a passing moment, only a phase that would fade with time. But something deeper noticed. When two souls are truly tied together, no distance can kill that bond. No silence can bury it. No rule, no fear, no doubt can erase it completely. They told themselves it was wrong, impossible, out of reach. But even in the quiet moments when your name crossed their mind, something took note. Even when they scrolled past a memory of you and tried to act unaffected, their heart trembled anyway. They are drawn to you in a way that is hard to put into words. It is not just wanting. It is not simple longing. It feels like the ache of a connection that goes deeper than logic can explain. In your voice, they feel safe. In your silence, they feel a quiet mystery. And in your eyes, they feel something they have never quite found anywhere else. But something told them this could never work. They looked at their circumstances. They looked at their past mistakes. They looked at everything around them, and it all seemed to shout, "Don't." But their heart kept whispering, "Please." Dear soul, pause for a moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to dear Stephen and Gail Such Smiley for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Let's know what angels want us to know. Sometimes the deepest love stories begin exactly where everything seems to say no. That is often when doubt grows loudest, when distractions multiply, when confusing thoughts crowd the mind. Because when someone truly aligns with what they feel, it can shift their whole path forward. That is why it felt forbidden. That is why people around them may have advised against it. That is why their own fears tried so hard to talk them out of it. But the more they tried to run from this feeling, the more it pulled at them. The more they tried to block it out, the more it burned quietly inside. They are not just thinking about you. They are sitting with this in stillness. They are searching for clarity in the quiet hours of the night. And somewhere deep down, they already know the truth. They have known it from the very beginning. It scared them because you are not just anyone to them. You feel different. You make them feel seen, exposed, and a little vulnerable, and that can feel frightening for someone who is used to staying guarded. But they have reached a turning point. They have been carrying this quietly for a long time. Now they are ready to stop hiding and step into the light with it. They are ready to take a risk. They are ready to face whatever comes. They are ready to say yes, even if it feels uncertain, because a connection like this does not come around twice. There is an old line of wisdom that says everything has its own perfect timing, and nothing beautiful happens by accident. This moment is no accident either. They are stepping into something unfamiliar, but they are doing it because their heart cannot rest while wondering about you, waiting, questioning. They want to reassure you. They want to protect what is growing between you. They want to do this the right way, with care and with honesty. But first, they have to be truthful with themselves. They are done pretending they can simply move on. Done trying to fill the space with other people just to numb the feeling. They see now that you were never a distraction or a test. You feel like an invitation, a meaningful chapter meant to unfold. Even if others do not fully understand it, even if old patterns or traditions seem to frown on it, they are learning to trust what their heart keeps telling them. They are willing to do whatever it takes. They will speak up. They will be honest. They will rebuild what needs rebuilding. They will wait if they must. Because the truth is, being near you brings them a kind of peace they cannot find anywhere else. You are the one who quietly holds a piece of their heart. They cannot hide this feeling anymore. Something is shifting, softening old walls, clearing old blockages, opening new paths forward. And you are not doing this alone either. Your own quiet patience has been noticed. Your steady hope has moved something, even in ways you cannot yet see. You did not force anything. You did not beg. You simply waited with grace, and that matters more than you know. Get ready, because this is only the beginning of what is unfolding for you. They are learning to move past what feels normal or expected. They are learning that love, real love, is stronger than fear, and that when fear is faced with enough love, it slowly loses its grip. Before long, you may feel it. A shift in the air, a release of old tension, a pull that grows steadily stronger. Not because anyone is chasing something out of impulse, but because something is settling into a quiet, grounded truth. This connection feels sacred to them now, and they are ready to stand for it. If any of this feels true for you, do not brush past it too quickly. Let yourself sit with it for a moment, quietly, honestly. Let it become a small, private declaration between you and your own heart, a gentle reminder that you are open and ready to receive what is meant for you. What is coming next feels bold, and it feels real. They could not sleep easily last night because every time they closed their eyes, they thought of you. Every time they turned over, they noticed the quiet space where your presence was missing. They imagined what it might feel like to finally be honest, to finally say the words they have been holding back. They tried to rehearse it in their mind, but nothing felt like quite enough to hold everything they carry for you. They are not simply feeling emotional about this. Something in them has woken up. You stirred something in them that nothing else could reach. And now they feel restless, not because they are unsure what to do, but because they finally understand what they need to do. They have thought this through fully, and they still choose you. This is no longer about a passing preference. This feels like purpose. You showed up in their life to stir them awake, to pull them out of numbness and fear, to remind them what it feels like to love fully, to be truly seen, to be accepted even in their most fragile moments. You never tried to change them. You never chased or pressured them. You simply stayed real, steady, and kind, and that quietly moved something in them in the gentlest way. Your calm presence has a way of healing. Your patience speaks louder than words ever could. They have been sitting with this feeling for a long time, turning it over quietly in their own reflection. And something keeps confirming what they already sense. No amount of distance, no amount of silence, no amount of doubt has been able to erase this pull toward you. They have told themselves it was wrong, impossible, unreachable, but even in their most private moments, something in them still whispered your name. Even when they tried to distract themselves and act unaffected, their heart still noticed you. They are ready now to stop overthinking and start moving toward what feels true. They understand this will not always be easy, but they have made peace with whatever effort it takes to reach you. They are willing to walk through hard moments if that is what it takes, because you feel like something worth working for. And this quiet knowing feels like the proof. They finally see clearly what they once could not. And they do not intend to fall back into old patterns of avoidance. They feel awake now, awake to their own feelings, awake to their sense of purpose, awake to this connection with you. They remember the times they avoided this truth, the times they tried to distract themselves with other people or other noise, but nothing ever replaced the quiet peace your presence brings. No one else has matched their sense of home the way you do. So now they are ready to build something steady, even if it means starting from a simple place. Not because anything failed before, but because they have grown. They want to approach this with care, with patience, and with honesty this time. They are not looking for a passing moment of joy. They are hoping for something lasting, something with real depth and commitment. Finding a true, steady connection is often described as one of life's quiet blessings, a kind of grace that arrives when we least expect it. They believe that kind of grace may be found with you. They have spent more quiet time reflecting on this connection than on almost anything else in their life recently, and they have never felt more certain. You were never simply a coincidence to them. You felt like confirmation. You were never just one option among many. You felt like the clearest, truest choice. Even if others question the timing, even if it seems unconventional to some, they do not need everyone to understand it. They only need their own inner sense of peace, and they feel they have found it. This feels like their moment, their honest step forward, their meaningful decision. A yes that moves past fear. A yes that quiets doubt. A yes that reaches for your hand and says, no matter what, I am not letting this go. They have already imagined, quietly in their own mind, the honest words they want to say to you, not for show, but because their heart is full and ready to speak some real truth. You may feel the weight of it when they do. You will sense it is genuine because it comes from something that has been quietly building for a long time. If this part of the message is stirring something in you, let it stir. You do not have to explain it or justify it to anyone. Simply let your heart quietly say yes to whatever feels true and gentle within you right now. This is not the end of anything. This feels more like the moment right before something new begins. They have carried your name quietly through quiet moments, through reflection, through the ordinary stretches of daily life when the world gets loud and then goes still again. Your presence has become something steady in their thoughts, calms them, it strengthens their resolve. Dear soul, before we continue, I want you to pause for a beautiful moment. If your soulmate is truly being guided back toward you, Remember that God may be preparing both hearts for what comes next. Sometimes the distance, silence, and waiting are not the end of the story. They are part of the preparation. The Bible reminds us in 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7 that God loves a cheerful giver. So if your heart feels genuinely led, you can sow a seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and pinned comment. Let this seed be your personal expression of faith, a prayer for your soulmate's healing, your own heart's preparation, and the beautiful path God is unfolding for both of you. You can simply say in your heart, Lord, prepare us for the love you are bringing together. Give only if it is truly in your heart to do so. Your kindness supports these messages and helps this channel continue bringing hope and encouragement to others. Thank you from my heart. May God bless you, protect your heart, and guide your soulmate journey according to His perfect timing. God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7. Let's continue with angel message. What they feel for you is not something they take lightly. That is part of why they pulled back for a while, not because they stopped caring, but because they wanted to approach this the right way. They needed time to feel ready for the weight and the beauty of really loving you well. And now they feel ready to make space for you not only in feeling, but in real, practical ways too. They are rearranging their priorities because they see clearly now what matters most. You feel like the good thing they have been quietly hoping for. You feel like a kind of grace they did not always feel deserving of. You feel like something they almost let slip by, but did not. They are returning now with gratitude, with intention, and with a plan. Because lasting connection rarely happens by accident. It happens through preparation. They have been preparing. They have had honest conversations with people close to them. They have let go of distractions. They have done some quiet inner work. All that is left now is for the moment to unfold naturally between you. They will not force this or rush it, but they are ready to show you, through consistent action, that this time is different, that this time it is real. There is an old saying that everything finds its own perfect season, and this may be that season for something beautiful to be restored. You are not just a fleeting feeling to them. You feel like a clear direction, and they are following that direction. Toward you, they have had vivid dreams, moments where your eyes met theirs, where your voice seemed to soothe something inside them, where your presence felt like coming home. These moments felt meaningful, like small previews of something waiting to unfold. And now they feel ready to step into it. They want to build a future with you rooted in more than just feeling, but in shared values and steady effort. They want to grow together, learn together, heal old wounds together, laugh together, and support each other through hard seasons too. This is not about being perfect people. It is about sharing a meaningful path, and you feel like a real part of that path for them. If you feel ready for that kind of steady unfolding, if something in you senses this message is speaking to your own season, let that quiet recognition be enough for now. You do not need anyone else to confirm it. Trust what your own spirit already knows. Let this word settle gently into your spirit. Let it remind you you are not waiting in vain. You are not forgotten. You are not imagining this pull. Something meaningful may be moving quietly on your behalf, and the person meant for you is willing to do the work it takes to reach you honestly. Sometimes it helps to understand why waiting feels so hard in the first place. Our minds like certainty. They like clear answers and quick resolutions. So when something meaningful is still forming quietly in the background, it can feel unbearable, like you are missing out on something or falling behind somehow. But growth of any real kind, whether it is a garden, a friendship, or a future connection, rarely happens on command. It happens in its own rhythm, often slower than we would like, but usually right on time when you look back later. Try thinking of this season less like an empty waiting room and more like a quiet workshop. You are not simply pausing your life until something happens. You are actively shaping who you are becoming, sorting out what you have learned, deciding what kind of care and honesty you want to bring into your next connection, whatever form that takes. That is not wasted time. That is preparation, even when it does not feel like it in the moment. It can also help to notice the difference between hope and anxious grasping. Hope feels light. It lets you go about your day with a quiet sense that good things are still possible. Anxious grasping feels heavy. It has you checking for signs constantly, replaying conversations, trying to control an outcome that is simply not yours to control. If you notice yourself slipping into that heavier state, a simple, gentle reminder can help. I can want something and still trust that it will come in its own time. I do not have to force it today. Dear one, even if people around you seem confused about your story, even if your person has had moments of fear, even if silence lasted longer than felt comfortable, something steady has still been quietly working in the background, guiding, protecting, and shaping what is meant to grow. Your person is done running, done hiding, done pretending this connection is ordinary. They tried to shake the feeling, but it only grew stronger with time. They tried to distract themselves, but every path seemed to circle back to you. The more they tried to set it aside, the clearer things became. You are the one who keeps coming to mind, and now they understand that more fully than before, without the same confusion, without the same hesitation. Their feelings toward you have deepened and matured over time. They want to be a source of steadiness and strength for you. They want to see you often, to build something real with you. And they are grateful they did not let fear get in the way completely. Now they are thinking about how to share everything honestly with you. Every quiet reflection, every meaningful sign, every restless night of thought. Because you deserve honesty, not a softened version, not a careful, guarded version. The real version that says, I care about you, I want this, I choose this. They no longer feel the need to seek approval from everyone else before honoring this feeling. They feel ready to be open about it in front of people who matter to them. They feel ready to hold your hand and let others see something real growing between you, because they recognize you as someone worth showing up for fully. There is an old idea that everything unfolds in its own right time, and this time feels like the start of something steady and real. You have waited, you have wondered, you have hoped for clarity, and now clarity is arriving through real action. Not mixed signals, not guesswork, just honesty and intention. So take a moment to prepare your heart and your space. They are approaching this with calm, but also with real purpose, ready to speak the words you have needed to hear, ready to show up in a way that honors the wait. Let that be your quiet, private declaration, one you do not need to speak aloud or share with anyone else in order for it to be true. There is a kind of shift happening in the space around you, even if you cannot see it clearly yet. You may feel it as a subtle pull, a restlessness, a sense that something meaningful is approaching. What they feel for you does not feel temporary or shallow to them. It feels like something closer to destiny, something steady and lasting. They see your patience. They see your quiet strength. They see how you have been growing and preparing, even without fully realizing it, and it moves something in them. They admire your softness alongside your resilience. They tried to find that same feeling elsewhere and could not. No one else has mirrored their spirit quite the way you do. Now they want to protect this connection and build carefully with you, because losing it would feel like losing something truly meaningful. They are ready to act, not with more delay, but with real steps forward. A gesture, a message, a genuine moment that marks a turning point in your shared story. They are not approaching this to test the waters. They are approaching with clarity. This feels right, and they want to build it thoughtfully together. They are willing to make real changes, adjust their life, and let go of old distractions to make space for you. You are not asking for too much. You are simply hoping for something honest and lasting, and that hope is valid. Things that felt blocked before may be opening now. What felt uncertain may be settling into something clearer. You are stepping into a season of being loved with intention, not confusion, not games, but with steady presence and real care. Let that thought settle gently, simple and true. A quiet knowing that you are aligning with your own story and stepping into your own season. Your meaningful connection is not just a maybe. It feels closer to a when, and that when may be arriving. They are not simply thinking about you passively. They are quietly making room for you in their choices, their reflections, their hopes for the future. You are not a passing thought to them. You feel like a central thread in what they are building next. They are done pretending they do not feel this. They understand that when something inside keeps pressing forward this clearly, the honest response is to move with it, not against it. And that is what they are choosing to do. The way they see you, the way they see themselves, and the way they understand love itself has grown deeper and steadier through this. They are ready to show up fully, without half measures, without constant doubt, with real courage and real commitment. They remember the small things, your laughter, your quiet moments, the way your presence feels calming. Something in them recognizes that as a kind of home. They tried distracting themselves, but nothing filled that particular space the way being near you does. This feels like a connection that has been shaped slowly, tested by time, refined through patience. It feels like the moment to stop holding back, to return, to say the things that were left unsaid, to offer what was held back before. They are not afraid of caring deeply anymore. They are simply mindful of not wanting to lose something meaningful, and that awareness is helping them find real courage. There is a gentle old truth that says everything has its season, and it feels like the season for something beautiful is arriving. Your story may be about to unfold in a way that feels unexpected, genuine, and steady. Let this be a quiet moment of trust, a simple, private reminder that your story is unfolding in its own time, exactly as it needs to. If this message speaks to your spirit, take that as a gentle sign. Your patience has not gone unnoticed. Your hope has not been wasted. The path ahead is clearing one honest step at a time. They tried, at times, to move their attention elsewhere, but their heart kept circling back to you, even when logic argued otherwise, even when others suggested moving on, even when they quietly wished the feeling would fade so life could feel simpler. Instead, the feeling stayed and grew steadier over time. It never felt like just a passing emotion. It felt like something worth paying attention to. They did not simply choose to feel this way. It arrived on its own, quietly, and once something like that settles in clearly, it becomes hard to unsee or dismiss. They have accepted that you are someone truly important to them, someone they feel they have been quietly searching for through many ordinary and difficult moments alike. They did not fully understand it at first. They did not know why their thoughts kept returning to you. But now they understand more clearly. You feel like someone they found, not someone they forced into their life. They are ready now to stop over-explaining this feeling and simply live it honestly. They want to offer you real time, real attention, real steadiness, and the honesty you deserve. They are willing to make real changes if that is what this connection asks of them, whether that means adjusting their routine, stepping away from old distractions, or being willing to be a little misunderstood by others along the way. Because for them, choosing not to pursue this honestly would feel far harder than taking the risk of trying. A connection like this feels rare, and now they are ready to protect it, show up for it, and speak honestly about it. Let yourself simply receive that thought quietly and fully, without needing to do anything more with it right now. They can feel a quiet shift building. Something in them will not let them sit fully still anymore. They find themselves thinking longer, reflecting more deeply, noticing small reminders of you in ordinary places. A song, a passing thought, a quiet dream feels less like coincidence and more like a gentle nudge to pay attention. This does not feel like a passing crush to them. It feels more like a calling, a steady pull towards something meaningful. They sense it clearly now. You matter, and they do not want to delay honoring that any longer. There is an old idea that everything unfolds when the timing feels right, and it feels like that time may be arriving now. Distractions are clearing. Old patterns are settling. A meaningful step forward feels close. They have made up their mind to move forward honestly, to speak up, to take real steps, to bring clarity to what may have felt hidden or uncertain for a while. They are willing to put in real effort to reach you, to explain themselves honestly, to build something that can genuinely last. They want to approach this with real care and real intention, because it matters and because you matter. Their reverence for this connection has grown. What started as simple curiosity has grown into something steadier, something that feels sacred to them now, something they do not want to rush or mishandle again. So they are preparing themselves quietly, their mindset, their habits, their intentions, their inner steadiness. They want to show up as someone who can meet you with real strength, gentleness, and honesty. Someone who can support you without needing to control things. Someone who can walk beside you rather than run from hard moments. They understand now that real, lasting care asks something of a person: patience, humility, willingness to grow, and they feel ready to offer that. You feel worth that kind of effort to them. You feel worth the occasionally uncomfortable, honest conversations that real connection sometimes requires. They want to support you openly, stand by you privately, and hold this connection with real respect. Their commitment to this no longer feels uncertain to them. They are choosing this fully and openly. If this feels like your moment too, let that quiet certainty settle in your own chest. A gentle sense that you, too, are preparing for something steady and real. Dear beloved soul, before we move forward, I'd like to share a gentle invitation with you. Every soulmate journey is precious in God's eyes. Sometimes, this sacred connection benefits from an extra layer of faith, love, and spiritual covering as it unfolds in divine timing. If you would like to make a meaningful gesture for your soulmate, you can sow your seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. The Ko-Fi link is waiting for you in the video description and the pinned comment. May your gift become a beautiful intention before heaven, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, remove unseen obstacles, and surround both hearts with divine light, peace, and guidance as your paths draw closer together. Scripture teaches that generosity reflects a trusting heart. Malachi 3 verse 10 reminds us of God's abundant faithfulness, while 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6 teaches that whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Every gift offered with sincere faith becomes a meaningful expression of trust in God's promises and His perfect timing. If your heart feels moved to sow this seed, thank you sincerely for supporting this ministry and these daily angel messages. May the Lord bless you abundantly, watch over your soulmate, and lead both of you into the beautiful future He has prepared. Now, let's continue with today's angel message. Whatever unfolds next, know this. Uncertainty and confusion tend to fade when patience and honesty are given enough time. Nothing about your story is unfolding too late. The person meant to walk this path with you knows that meaningful things sometimes take real courage to build, and they have made peace with the effort that may take. They finally see clearly what they may not have recognized before, and they do not intend to slip back into old avoidance. They feel more awake now, awake to their own feelings, awake to a sense of purpose, awake to this connection with you. They remember moments of avoiding this truth, moments of trying to fill quiet spaces with noise or distraction. But nothing ever replaced the steady peace that being close to you seems to bring. No one else has felt quite like home the way you do. So now they are ready to build something steady, starting simply if needed, not because anything failed before, but because they have grown through it. They want honesty, patience, and real care this time. They are not looking for a fleeting moment. They are hoping for something with real depth and staying power. You were never simply a coincidence to them. You felt like confirmation of something they had quietly hoped for. You were never just one option among many. You felt like a clear and meaningful choice. Even if others question the timing, they do not need everyone else to understand it fully. They only need their own quiet sense of peace, and they feel they have found it. This feels like their honest step forward, their meaningful decision, a yes that moves past fear, a yes that quiets old doubt, a yes that reaches for your hand and says, "No matter what, I am not letting this go." Along the way, you may start noticing small signs that feel meaningful to you. A song that plays at just the right moment. A number you keep seeing on a clock or a license plate. A dream that feels more vivid than usual. These small moments are easy to dismiss, but many people find that when their heart is open and paying attention, gentle little signs seem to line up more often than chance alone would explain. You do not need to force meaning into everything you notice, but it is worth staying open to the quiet nudges that come your way. Part of this whole process is learning to trust timing you cannot control. That can feel uncomfortable, especially if you are someone who likes to plan and take charge. But some of the most meaningful parts of life unfold on their own pace, slowly, in layers, in ways that only make full sense looking back. Try not to rush what is still forming. Try not to force a door open before it is ready to open on its own. Instead, keep tending to your own peace, your own growth, your own daily life, and let the rest unfold at its own natural speed. This season is also a good time to be gentle with yourself. Waiting for something meaningful, whether that is love, clarity, or a fresh start, can sometimes stir up old doubts. You might wonder if you are asking for too much, or if you are somehow behind where you think you should be. Let those thoughts pass through without holding on to them too tightly. You are exactly where you need to be right now, learning what you need to learn, healing what still needs healing, becoming more fully yourself. None of that time is wasted. If you have been carrying disappointment from before, from connections that did not work out the way you hoped, know that those experiences were not failures. They were simply part of your path, shaping your understanding of what you truly want and what truly matters to you. Every version of you, even the more uncertain or hurting versions, helped bring you to this moment. There is no need to be hard on yourself about any of it. Dear one, try setting aside a few quiet minutes today just for yourself. Breathe slowly. Place a hand over your heart if that feels comforting. Silently or out loud, you might say something simple like, "I am open to good things arriving in their own right time. I trust my own steady pace. I am worthy of real, honest care." Let those words settle in your body, even if only for a moment. Gratitude also has a quiet way of shifting how a day feels. You do not need grand things to be thankful for. A warm drink in the morning, kind message from a friend, a moment of stillness before sleep. Naming small things you appreciate, even silently in your own mind, tends to open up more room for good things to be noticed and welcomed into your life. If you have been holding on to worry about someone specific, worry about whether they are thinking of you, whether they will reach out, whether things will work out the way you hope, try loosening your grip on that worry, just a little at a time. Worry rarely speeds anything up. It mostly just makes the waiting feel heavier. Instead, try redirecting that same energy into caring for yourself, into your own goals, friendships, and small daily joys. Ironically, that shift often makes space for good things to arrive more naturally, because you are no longer holding on so tightly. It also helps to remember that real, lasting connection is rarely instant or dramatic. It tends to be built slowly, through honesty, consistency, and small everyday moments of care. If something is meant to unfold between you and another person, it will likely show up not as one grand gesture, but as a series of small, steady choices showing up, being honest, being kind, being patient. Watch for that kind of steadiness rather than only waiting for a big dramatic sign. And if it turns out that the specific person on your mind right now is not part of your path after all, that does not mean this message was wrong for you. It simply means the deeper truth here, that you are worthy of real, patient, honest love, still applies, just perhaps with someone else, in a way you cannot yet picture. Try holding this message a little more loosely, less about one particular person, and more about the steady, calm trust that good things are still forming for you. If any part of this has felt comforting or meaningful, take a moment now to notice which word feels most true for you, maybe trust or grateful or growing. Let it be a small, honest marker of where you are today, held quietly in your own heart. As you move through the rest of your day, try to carry a little more softness with you, toward yourself, toward your own timeline, toward the process of becoming ready for whatever is coming next. You do not have to have everything figured out today. You simply have to keep showing up gently, honestly, one day at a time. If this message has stirred something real in you, dear one, let yourself receive it. Notice which word feels most true to you right now, whether that is ready or peace or yes. Let that be the quiet, honest agreement you make with yourself today, one that needs no audience but you. You are not imagining this pull towards something meaningful. You are not asking for too much by hoping for something real. Whatever your path looks like from here, may you feel steady, may you feel patient with yourself, and may you feel genuinely at peace as you walk it. Before you go, take one more slow breath with me. Let your shoulders drop a little. Let your jaw unclench. You have carried a lot quietly, and you are allowed to set some of that weight down even just for today. Nothing about your worth depends on how quickly answers arrive. Nothing about your value is measured by how long you have had to wait. If you found comfort in these words, come back to them whenever you need a gentle reminder that good, honest things are still forming, even in the quiet in-between moments of life. And if you know someone else who might need this same reminder today, consider sharing it with them too. Sometimes the kindest thing we can offer another person is simply a little hope on a heavy day. Dear one, you are worth waiting for, and you are worth being loved well. There is one more thing worth saying before we close. Real, lasting connection rarely arrives the way we picture it in our heads. We often imagine a single dramatic moment, a perfect sentence, a sweeping gesture that changes everything all at once. But in real life, most meaningful things grow quietly, in small steps, through ordinary days that slowly add up to something steady and true. If your own story feels slow or uncertain right now, that does not mean it is going wrong. It may simply mean it is being built the honest way, one small piece at a time. Give yourself permission today to simply be where you are. You do not have to rush your own healing. You do not have to force clarity before it is ready to arrive. You do not have to perform readiness for anyone, including yourself. It is enough to keep breathing, keep showing up for your own life, and keep tending gently to your own heart while everything else continues to unfold in its own quiet way. If you take nothing else from this message, let it be this. You are not behind. You are not too much. You are not forgotten. Whatever season you are in right now, whether it feels calm or uncertain, hopeful or tired, it is simply one part of a much longer story, and you are allowed to move through it at your own honest pace. Dear one, may you feel steady today. May you feel a little lighter, and may you carry a quiet sense of peace with you as you go. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.